All right, everyone, welcome back to Author Mastery Insights. I am with Dr. Victor Manzo. Welcome, brother. Welcome.
Brother, I am excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's excited. I'm really excited for this conversation, not only because this book is truly epical. We're going to have a little bit of Italian theme here today, but because, The Matrix is one of my favorite movies of all time, and its philosophy is profound. And when you utilize that principle of the Matrix, and although there is differences, obviously, we're not talking about that movie, but we're talking about that shift in mindset, the perceptions that we have. This is both an important book, an incredible conversation. I'm super excited. So for those, before we get into it, not familiar with Dr. Victor's incredible background, he is a business mindset coach, self-mastery expert, author, incredible podcaster, and certified pediatric chiropractor. Loves his principle chiropractic and serves at a profound and powerful level. He is the creator and host of The Mindful Experiment, which has over 380 episodes, an incredible achievement. And that is a person with a mission, and it's ranked one of the top 1% podcasts globally, sourced from listennotes.co. Dr. Victor has helped business owners shift their mindsets to unleash their potential and manifest their dreams. And he does this through one-on-one coaching, as well as his education and resources. And the breakthrough process that provides this helps his clients achieve faster results, greater and deeper transformations, and long-term success. And his impact, as I said, is incredible. So I'm excited, and we're going to decode the matrix to talk about you realizing your potential. All right, Dr. Victor, I'm excited for this. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's do this, brother.
All right. Look, this is an incredible book. And for those not familiar, I'm just going to, it's on Amazon. I've got mine as a digital copy. You've got to grab hold of this because, we want you to unleash your potential. So let's just start with what's going to be a really, important question is, why did you write this book about decoding the matrix?
For me, any book, like I have 3 books, and all books that I've written has always been wishing I had that book when I was younger, right? And it's one of those things. But the Matrix, I thought it's not like I had a lot of the books, they come to me rather than me thinking about it. When I wrote my second one, I have a mission of a vision of writing 30 books in my life. So I don't know how that's going to come. I don't know when they're going to come out. I couldn't tell you the steps. I have no clue. But the Matrix really shot out at me in December last year. COVID happened 2 years in almost, and there was just the psychological aspects that happened from things. Like there was this main narrative, and anyone that stepped off was humiliated, or there were whatever that may be. And I started to see like how our minds are conditioned in so many different ways, not just from that, but just in life in general and so forth. And I was like, you know what? Decoding the Matrix sounds like what I need to write. That sounds like the right title. And so I literally reached out to my guy who creates my covers for my books. I said, hey, I got a new book. I want to have I told him what I wanted. Boom, he shows it to me. I'm like, man, he and of course it wasn't that fast, but and I was like, okay, we're in alignment. This is where I need to go. And it just I felt like people are seeking to want to have that freedom, but don't know how. And I see it in business a lot, but I also see it in personal. And it's one of those things where I was like, you know what, if I can show them a way of how we are conditioned and many different elements, and how the matrix and all the sub matrices that come with that condition our mind, and then we lead our lives with this unconscious. 95% of our life is dictated by the unconscious. So if we don't become aware and awaken to this process, then we're living what I call a mental prison. You're not living your potential. You're dimming your light. And the world right now needs more people awakening. And what I mean by awakening is like living to sharing their gifts and living a more fulfilled life. We need more of that to truly make the shift of what we want to see in the world to, compared to where kind of things are going. Because you look at it one way and go, yeah, we're going downhill. Or, there is hope for the other side. And if we want to see more of that, it all stems to the individual first.
Yeah, absolutely true. What I love about what you've just shared there, and also the message of your book, and you have this revolutionary exploration really of, and you mentioned it here, we've been imprisoned to some degree, many of us, by the narrative, and your book recognizes that people do, and the narrative conspires to hold us back from living our best life, from achieving our dreams and becoming successful, finding happiness, finding health, and the process here. And you talk about the way that, you know, this imprisonment, and your book really does this so elegantly, and in fact, not just elegantly, but practically, to give clarity and definition to this, but also the way to break out of this matrix and to live your life. So I want to talk about, in my mind, as I interpret some of that through a chiropractic lens, and then talk about how this breakthrough happens for individuals, because I know we spoke about off air, and I want to share this with everybody. You know, the principles of chiropractic, and DD found it on tone, and there is unifying the man, the spiritual, with man, the physical. And Dr. Victor has a profound philosophy at the foundation of what he does. So when we break out of the matrix, we are literally, not only, as you said, awakening, but we're finding a spiritual sense of understanding that allows us to access skills, resources, knowledge, and ability. And you document the pathway for this to develop a life vision. Can you talk about the philosophy, not only of chiropractic, but how that weaves through the work that you do to lead people on this journey to awakening and claiming their power and living their best life?
Yeah, I love that question. Very deep. I can go, like, we talk a lot on that one. Yeah, when it comes to, reclaiming your power, there's a truth that we have. I mean, there's a story. I don't know who said it, who came up with it. It was talking about God. I think it was in the Hindu philosophies and in the religion and so forth. But they talked about, hiding the secret of life and so forth. And man was trying to figure it out. So he went out, and you may have heard the story before. He said it was in the ocean. So man goes dive deep in the ocean. And they didn't find it. They went up to they said it might be in the mountains. So they went up to the mountains, highest mountains. They couldn't find it. They said it might be in the sky. So they flew around the skies. They couldn't find it. And they got exhausted, and all of a sudden they finally realized that all along their whole search, it was looking outside and said the answers were within, right? And you've heard this so many times. So you have the answers within, or you have all that you need. I've heard this so many times in my life. Everything you have is within you already. And there's a massive truth to that, and it's really true in all aspects. But it's the layering of the conditioning of how we evolved in life, where and even from we can talk about this through a chiropractic lens. You can talk about this through just life in general, but it's that conditioning between the ages 0 to 7. When we come into this world, we're pure. We're pure. We have no judgments. We have nothing. We are pure, innocent beings. And then all of a sudden, we are conditioned, and we are, in some way, shape, or form, thoughts and ideas, how we speak, what we like to eat, the clothes we wear, to the ideologies. Even I was conditioned as a chiropractor, thinking, what is a successful chiropractor? Because when I came out of school, I wanted to be successful, not from a money standpoint, but from an impact standpoint. And it was one of those things where I did all these things, and then eventually I was exhausted, burned out. I wasn't feeling fulfilled, even though I was at that level. It was like, there's something wrong with this. And then I started realizing I was doing what others told me to do instead of what I wanted to do. And so it's really coming back to tapping in your power and coming back within, and stop giving your power away. And I think that's what a lot of people do in this essence when it comes to truly tapping in, because we are so powerful that there's nothing that can measure it. Our power is immeasurable. So when we go into this realm, it's a self-discovery process to see exactly what can we do, what is our potential, and our potential is limitless. I mean, we're even starting to see this on a matter perspective, because even as chiropractic and all that in the body has limitations of matter, but we're starting to see that even that we can bend, and we're just trying to figure out how that can work and how that can play. I mean, I share studies about the power of visualization, and just from working out an actual muscle versus visualizing, you almost get the same results at the end of the month. It's just fascinating how that goes. And I hope I'm answering the question in full entirety.
Yeah, I'm loving that. I've just, the engagement is really valuable here, and I think we're perceiving things differently, and the opportunity is really one of individual and then collective growth as well, because you were also talking in the book, and I love this, overcoming the unconscious associations and neural conditioning that has either limited to or allowed you to achieve your goals. And when we have this, not just this narrative, but when we have this belief system and this capacity to awaken that, there is so much opportunity. And you spoke about serving and impact, and you wanted to be successful, and success through impact. How then does decoding the matrix and unleashing your potential allow you to achieve more, to succeed more, and therefore impact the health and lives of patients within our practice, our influence of chiropractic within the community, and even fulfilling our mission in life?
Oh, I love this question. It's coming back to truly choosing what it is that really matters to you and doing that. What do you love? Like, one of the things I share a lot is, when I'm working with clients and they're trying to like, because it's funny, you ask the question, what do you want in life? And it's amazing what comes back and how much people can't answer that question. I know I was one of those. What do you want in life? Well, what do you mean? What do I want in life? Well, what do you want to have in the next 5 to 10 years? Well, and you just blabber something out. And it's leading that path of authenticity. And authenticity means what matters to you. What do you value? What can you do that you would do that would be for free? You would do it for free no matter what, because of the fulfilling factor it gives you. That is going to break away from the matrix in a way, because you're going to raise your vibration when you're doing something that matters to you, not what someone tells you that matters, but it's important to you. Like when I made a change in my practice, I remember I took a 40% hit because my practice wasn't what I wanted to. I had practice members that didn't align with what I wanted as a practice. I was told to, meet where people are when it comes to health. And I'm like, hold up. If I go to a master, a sage, a mystic, and I tell them, this is what I can do, this is what the mystic tells me, here's what I can do for you, here's what we're going to, this is the journey and the process. And then I'm going to sit there and go, sounds great, but I can probably only do half of that. The mystic's going to go, well, then I can't help you. I can't help you in this journey. So, and that was something hard for me to understand, because I was like, I thought I was supposed to meet where they are, or I was a people pleaser too. So I want to make sure I please the patient. But what ended up happening is I was like, I was tired of the burnout of not getting results. And I said, I'm going to start choosing to do this on my own way. I'm someone who's coming from the right place. I'm not trying to be manipulative. I'm not trying to, try to make more money than it should be. I'm like, I just really want to help people. And so I was like, I'm going to start being strict. And I did. And the results came in better, more compliance, better, more referrals. And I was like, interesting how that worked. But coming back to the authenticity part, when you're coming from a place that really matters and you start to do that, this is where inspiration comes. You don't need to listen to motivational videos anymore. You don't have to do any of that, because you're inspired within, and that vibration rises. And when you have that vibration rise and you're living that vibe every day, you start to what you seek is going to come seeking you even faster, and you're going to start to achieve that dream life. And this is where like things like universal, law of vibration, law of attraction comes in. And because the higher you vibe, the more you stay in that place, the more you're going to attract more of that life. And what you're doing is, on the back end, on a collective side with the matrix, is when you're on fire, you create a ripple effect. The law of association plays a role in this. And so now whatever you're vibing at, you're liberating people without even knowing. You're being a person of influence now, because you're coming from a place of power. And now you're influencing people to give them the opportunity to do the exact same thing. And now we start to rise up the matrix, because a lot of times when you hear about the matrix, some people think, if you think from the movie, it's something bad, right? And it's this control and all that. And I always tell people, like I said in my book, the matrix is not bad. It's not good either. It just is. And it's one of those things that will always exist. It will never go away. But the key thing is, if we want to influence and change, we have to change with ourselves first, and doing something what means something to you, that's valuable, that you will love to do. You could do it for free no matter what. It inspires you, and you can keep your vibe high. That creates radical change. And this is why I say, like I tell people a lot, we're at a time where we need this right now, just because of where we've gone in humanity and society. We're not that it's like doom and gloom. I'm not saying that. Humanity will always rise and thrive through no matter what, but it's one of those things where what we want to see for ourselves, I think, at a place that we are now, because the message I'm starting to share a lot is resonating with a lot of people. So it tells me that, like, okay, more people want to hear these things. And but that's the key purpose of how we can I can go down more paths with that, but that's the biggest one that I usually share a lot, is that if we do what matters most to us and what we value, then that you start to live a more fulfilled life. And when we can do that, that's true inspiration. That's how we can change things.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that if you do that, you're going to be in the top 1%, because that's exactly where you guide people to get to. You help them to overcome their self-imposed limitations, the limiting beliefs, the behaviors and actions that hold them back. And I think we don't need to dive deeper in here. People need to go grab that book, read that book, reach out, so that they can harness those, the thought processes, the inner journey that fulfills their potential in an outer world experience. I think you've got a great breakthrough model and blueprint for that. I'm grateful for it. And I think, as people listen to you speak, they'll know that they've got an incredible mission-driven, deep thinker, thought leader of our profession to guide them on that journey. And as we finish here, I really just want one last question. I want this for the docs listening to this as well. You've written a book, and it's obviously changed your world. And you said, these books come to you. You've got this vision for writing books. What does it mean to you, having written this book, the feedback that you get, the changes that have taken place in your life, and the way that you've been able to help people? As a writer, and I want people to know and hear this as well, for them to find their purpose and their mission. As a writer, how has it meant that your life is on a different trajectory, or unfolded in a more enriched way that gives you that self-fulfillment and that knowing that you're making a difference in the world?
It's absolutely amazing. I mean, when I first had the book come out and I had some people reaching out to me, sharing what it meant to them, like someone was like, wow, I really felt like I didn't have everything I was just a victim of the world. And you wrote this book, and they're like, I can see now how I don't have to be, and I can actually choose for myself. And I was like, done. That's it. So I'm done with the book. We're good. That's it. Don't need no more. Because it's one of those things where my spiritual teacher at 24 told me, if you can just help influence one person's life, you've done your job here on this earth. Now she's like, don't get me wrong, if you want to do more, you can, but just know that you've made a huge impact. And so it means the world to me, more than anything, because that's the main purpose why I write. Like when I love when I wrote this book, and I had, there's a vision that comes to it. And when you write it, I got through it and I look back and I'm like, okay, here's what I would love people to get out of this, right? What's the journey? Because that's part of my thought process. Like what's the journey I want people to go through as they read this book? And when it comes to the end, I'm like, I just hope they get there. I hope my message comes across. And all of a sudden, you get that couple responses and it's like exactly what you wanted them to come through. It's just like, that's awesome. Perfect. Great. This is all I wanted. I'm happy with this. And it's more a fulfillment too. And like I share with a lot of my people, like my people in my own community, and I share a lot is that, it's kind of cool, because I love writing aspect of it is that you get to catch me in a snip of where I am in my life right now when I wrote that book. And then, and it's funny because is I write books as I go on. I had a mentor tell me one time, he's like, don't try and change your book. Just write it and be done with it, because you're going to go back and you're going to want to change it up. And it's funny. It's so true. But yeah, it's been a huge, inspiring, and it inspires me more to continue doing and sharing when I get that kind of feedback and so much more.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I want to give you feedback right now that it's I think, a wonderful body of work. Two, it's an important piece of work for a change process for people. And they do need this now more than ever. And most importantly, I think it's a wonderful gift to humanity in evolving our consciousness, helping us break free, not just from the narrative, but from any narrative that restricts us from living our potential. It is a wonderful gift. Everyone, go grab a copy of this, read this, implement, apply it in your life, in your practice, so you can realize your potential. Dr. Victor, I'm honored, I'm humbled, I'm grateful. People, let's go change the world together.